What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are doing a Keystone unboxing, but this is not your average Keystone. It is a Keystone Pro 3, but this one is actually a Solflare branded one. When I was at Breakpoint 2024 in Singapore, I met the Solflare team and I did an interview that some of you may have seen, and I also received this wallet, as well as some other things that we're going to check out. First and foremost, I received this hat. And then also this shirt. That's pretty awesome. Gotta love that. Big thank you to the Solflare team. But let's get into some of the goodies that we have here. Some of the things that we have are a deck of cards that are Solflare branded, as well as the hardware wallet. First and foremost, the cards. Pretty cool. Got a deck of cards there. Let's open them up and see what they're all about. These are pretty awesome. They're all Solana or NFTs. The number of Solana tokens dictate the card. We got Famous Fox here, Smithies. See if there's anything else that we recognize. More Famous Fox and Smithies. Another Famous Fox and Smithies. Sensei. Quex. Overall, these are pretty awesome. Definitely going to keep these in my collection. I like playing cards, so why not? All right, let's get into the Keystone 3 Pro. Now, I've never actually used one of these wallets before, so I'm really excited for it because it is actually able to stay air-gapped and be a cold wallet, which is extremely important in crypto. But here we have a Solflare branded Keystone 3 Pro. It says to have fun on Solana, you need to be more than just safe. You need to be unbreakable. That's why at this year's Breakpoint, we don't have a big fancy booth. Instead, we invest in making sure you're protected. Enjoy your own Keystone 3 Pro Unbreakable Edition. Please remember, safety is best served cold. Love it. Absolutely awesome. I love the custom sleeve. Let's make sure here our wallet is indeed safe. As we can see, Keystone 3 Pro. Looks like the contents will be a hardware wallet, a user manual, 6 seed sheets, 1 USB-C cable, and jelly tape. In terms of features, we've got a 4-inch screen. It's open source hardware, secure element chips, multi-seed phrase support, so it can support up to 3 different seed phrases, fingerprint authentication, self-destruct mechanism, so if somebody gets a hold of it and they're trying to get into it and everything, they're not able to. Like I mentioned, that air-gapped mode that you can see there, and advanced features. So Shamir's secret sharing, dice entropy, transaction decoding, passphrase, etc. It looks like the wallet has not been tampered with yet, but we'll of course make sure. Remember, if you do decide to order a Keystone 3 Pro, that you order it from the official source, because you do not want to risk ordering it on Amazon or something like that and getting a hacked wallet or one where they already extracted the seed phrase. Very important. But we'll go ahead and pull this tab here. And then it goes, you sign what you see. Love it. Nice little box here. All seems really sturdy. Got some Keystone logos going on. On the back here, it says, Step 1, visit the Quick Start Guide. Step 2, configure the Keystone hardware wallet using the tutorial. Step 3, embark on your Web3 adventure, utmost safety and protection. Yes, safety first, safety first. Getting into the inside here, we have a little data sheet that tells you what the different sections of the Keystone hardware wallet are. So you have a micro SD card port, you have a camera, you have a fingerprint sensor, power button, and a charging port. Great. Here's our Keystone 3 Pro. Look at that, unbreakable on the back. Love it. It's awesome. Overall, it feels really sturdy. So we got the fingerprint scanner on the back. We've got a USB-C charging port on the bottom. micro SD port, and the camera that we mentioned. But this is pretty sweet. Unbreakable, Solflare. Gotta love it. Is there anything underneath here? Nope, just some packaging. In here, we have a Type-C charging cable. Great. Underneath here, we have our user manual. So, awesome. If you need help setting up a wallet, refer to the manual. Remember not to share your seed phrase too. And then in here, we're going to have our seed phrase cards, I'm sure. So we've got our seed phrase cards for up to 24 words. Very handy. They are, they're just cardboard. You know, if you want to go extra secure like I like to, you know, we've got these fancy safe seed cards that are actually titanium that we actually had at our Vegas 2023 party with Cryptos R Us. So these are pretty sweet, and then you just stamp them into there. This is what I like to use. They're fireproof. They get wet. They don't get damaged. It's just personal preference, though. And then that's all we have in our box here. Overall, very clean packaging. Not a lot of unnecessary stuff. Oh, and then here we have a discount code for 10% off if you want to purchase one. So I'll tell you what, if you want to purchase one, send me a message on Twitter, and I will give you this 10% off code. And then what we have here is that jelly tape mentioned. Turn packaging into a drawer. So what that means is we've got our box here. We can put it back together, maybe like this. And then you'd stick it on here, maybe put it underneath your desk or something so that you've got another little drawer. Cool. Less waste. All right. Let's get into the meat and potatoes here of this Keystone wallet. You know, I love peeling these things off, so let's just peel it right off. Yeah. Turn it on. All right, it actually does not come charged, so we're going to plug her in so that we can initialize setup here. There we go. Now we've got her plugged in, and it's starting up. It's on firmware 1.2.8. English. All right, it looks like there's actually a way to verify that the device has not been used before. You guys won't be able to see what I'm doing here, but I am going to go ahead and do that just to make sure. But basically it says, verify your device. This process ensures the integrity of your Keystone device and firmware. Visit our website and click Start Verification button. Scan the QR code with the wallet. Enter the code on the website to check for any potential tampering with your device. All right, so we've scanned the QR code here. So now we're just waiting for a device code to pop up. And then I'm going to enter this into the website, and it will verify the wallet. All right. Our wallet is secure and untampered with. So that's a good start. Now we'll go ahead and continue here. All right. While we wait for our device to charge, we are going to actually go ahead and update it. So I have moved over here to keystone.1/firmware. As you can see there, and we are going to update via micro SD card instead of via USB because I do not want to connect this to my computer. And we are also going to do the multi-coin firmware because I want to put Solana assets on it because, after all, it is a Solflare branded wallet, so got to use Solana on it, right? So go ahead and click this one here. And we're going to get the Keystone 3 Pro multi-coin firmware. Supports 5,500 plus assets and 30 plus software wallets. We likely will not be using it with any software wallets because we want it to remain cold and safe. So we hit this SD card update here, and then it downloads the package to my computer, and I'm going to move that to a completely empty SD card that I have formatted, and then we will insert it into the Keystone and do our update. All right, now we've got 21% charge on our Keystone 3 Pro. You need a 20% charge in order to do the update and in order to generate a seed phrase. So we've got our firmware update on our micro SD card, and our micro SD card is inserted in the slot here because, again, we don't want to connect it to the computer, but we're going to go ahead and hit update via micro SD card. This just says ensure that your Keystone has at least 20% battery. Get the software from where I showed you. Transfer the firmware file to the micro SD card and then press update. All right, now we're starting the update. Do not remove the micro SD card while the update is underway. The update process did take about 11 minutes or so, but it is completed. So let's go ahead and move forward. We can skip it now because we already did it. We can create our wallet now. We had to let this device charge up. Just so you know, when you set up this new wallet and update the firmware, it goes from requirement of 20% charged to 40% charged. So that's why I had to step away and do that. But now we're going to go ahead and create the wallet. Hardware wallet is for personal use only. Do not share to avoid asset risks. I understand. Now we're setting up a PIN code. I'm not going to let you guys see that. And then you get to name your wallet. I'm going to name it Solflare Baby. And then you get to pick between a standard seed phrase or a Shamir backup. We're going to do a standard seed phrase. And then it says, check your surroundings. Never share your seed phrase with anyone else as it grants access to your assets. Share there's no onlookers or cameras when recording your seed phrase. So stop watching me. All right, so we've got our seed phrase written down and recorded. So now we can go ahead and continue. Currently, it is creating the wallet, so keep the device on. And then there we go. We are set up. We got our wallet, Solflare Baby. Currently, it's got a Bitcoin address and an Ethereum address. But let's check this out a little bit. If we hit this filter button here, it allows us to add more addresses. So obviously I'm going to add Solana because I know we're going to be using that. Hey, let's add some Sui. I'm all about that too. And then we got Cosmos ecosystem, XLM, Arweave, Dash, Aptos, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Tron, Ton, Cardano, Ripple, and Helium. But I'm just going to leave Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum on. Then we can go ahead and continue. It looks like you can scan addresses using the camera. That's pretty awesome. Let's see about this menu here. So connect software wallet, which I'm not going to do. Then we've got device settings. So we got wallet settings, system settings, connection, and about, which is going to be our firmware and everything like that. You can wipe the device. It does have a vibration, so it's got tactical feedback. That's pretty cool. And then you can set up a fingerprint, which I will do later. Passphrase, seed phrase check. And then there you go. That's about all she writes. Overall, this is a pretty cool little wallet. I'm a fan. I really love this background. This is awesome. That's why it's going to be my Solana wallet, because it says unbreakable Solflare. Guys, if you want a Keystone wallet, and if you found this review helpful, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, stay safe out there, and we'll be back with another video. But want to give a huge thank you once again to Solflare and Keystone for this amazing device. And of course, for all the swag that I received. This hat, I've got some awesome socks too that are orange and say Solflare on them. Of course, the shirt itself is awesome. It's got a little Solflare tag. Super cool. Huge thank you to them. Solflare is personally my favorite wallet on the Solana ecosystem. And no, this was not a paid review or anything like that. I got it for participating and decided I wanted to make a video with it. If you enjoyed this video, smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.